Hey lovely wild hearts, it's Lisa here. I'm coming in today with another journaling video in this little series I've been doing. Have a scooch back on the playlist and check out the other ones. I think you'll find them helpful if you want to discover what your journaling archetype is, or how you can use journaling to heal from childhood trauma. And today's one is: how do we find the most powerful journal prompts for self-trust and self-confidence? Journaling in itself builds self-trust and self-confidence because you're connecting to your inner voice, and over time you learn to trust it the more you listen to yourself. What we tend to do when that voice comes in is push it away, make ourselves wrong. Self-doubt has been something I've been plagued with for most of my life, chronically, until recently. And it was because I had such a brutal inner critic, and I tried all the techniques, meditation, mindfulness. I tried distracting myself. I tried to drown it out, ignore it. But actually, the thing that's helped me the most is to put it on the page, is to journal it through. So I'm going to read this blog post through with you today, and I'll put a copy of the link to the blog post in the comments and the pinned post below, or the description box below. So would you like to discover the most insightful and powerful journal prompts that will strengthen your self-trust and grow your self-confidence? It's Oracle and Tarot cards. Really? Yeah. I am well known for using Oracle and Tarot cards as journal prompts at my monthly class, Journaling Your Jammies. That's not monthly anymore. We're not doing it monthly, but you can still, if you click on the link to Journaling Your Jammies, download a free class if you want to experience the transformational power of journaling for yourself. This is something I discovered by trial and error through my daily journal practice. Watch the video and see how I do that. So there's a little video up there for you to watch, but we're not going to watch that today. We're going to keep reading. Recently, it is all about the woo over here. I've been busy with tarot therapy sessions. Lots of you are searching for more meaning in your life, or trying to work out what your life's purpose is. And I could see how that could be a thing after a global pandemic. I think we're really feeling the aftershock of the global pandemic, of how it's thrown us into an unknown world, and also a lot of grief around not going back to how life was before. How many of you are waiting for life to go back to how it was before? How many of you feel like you've lost years of your life, even though the time is ticking on and we're in 2024? I just feel like we've missed some years. It was a very strange time, and we were also, lots of us, in life-threatening situations. We were isolated in our homes, and I just think it's going to have an effect on us. It's going to have an effect on our children and their schooling. And it's going to have effect on our system, on our health system, and all that stuff. So, and obviously our economy's suffering as well, struggling as well, which is going to have an impact on us too. So, the intuitive hits that I get from journaling and watching other people learn and teach it to them. So in the journal classes, you can visibly feel the clarity, the sense of lightness, the relief, but also when you get an intuitive hit, it's like a really strong feeling in your body. So I don't know if any of you watch my card readings on this channel, but watch them, because if you get a message that's meant for you, you will feel a strong yes in your body, an expansiveness, a kind of like, an excitement in your tummy, a fizzy feeling in your legs and hands. You'll know what your intuitive hit feels like, because you could visibly feel other people's energy shift when things start to fall into place for them. And I think the thing is that, I don't want to oversimplify it, because journaling is a really simple tool, but it's a powerful one. Because we live in such a busy world where we've all got 10 browsers open in our brains, and we've got an iPad and a phone and a laptop and the telly on, and we're cooking the dinner and we're having a conversation with someone whilst replying to a WhatsApp, it's all going on. And what that does is drown out our own inner voice, and there is no time for you to connect to you. Now, those of us that have got trauma disconnects us from ourselves anyway. So we need more time with ourselves. But what we tend to do is avoid ourselves because we're avoiding sitting with the uncomfortable feelings that are the residue that's left over from the trauma. But I just put here, if you want a tarot therapy session with me, click here and see what's available in my diary. So a tarot therapy session is where you come to me and you've got something you're struggling with. Perhaps you're in a job you don't like. Perhaps you're in a relationship that you don't know whether you want to stay or should I go now. Perhaps you've got this big dream and you don't know how to bring it into fruition. Perhaps you're struggling with your own self-doubt and self-confidence. Perhaps you see a repeating pattern in your life. Mostly people come for relational issues where they're attracting emotionally unavailable people or people that don't treat them nicely and they feel like they can't leave. That's what I see a lot. And that's because most of us have got trauma that was relational. It happened with our parents growing up, and therefore we're repeating that pattern elsewhere in our lives until we heal what's inside of us. So you would come to the session, you would talk a bit about what's going on, and then I would pull cards, and I've got a card spread which is called Unlock Your Magic. We'd go through a 5-card spread, and by the end of it you would just watch your energy shift and feel very differently. And maybe you'd be in a position to make a decision. Not everyone has been, but I've had people come that have come for relational issues and then left with an action which is not related to the relationship as well. It's something they need to do for themselves, because all of these toxic relationships are just distractions from us being with us. So we can blame the other person, we can want the other person to change, but that's out of our control. It's on us at the end of the day. So just for fun today, I thought I'd share some facts about the cards and dispel the many myths about them. The cards were how I discovered my intuitive gifts and how I found my way back to myself. So that's how I developed my self-confidence and my self-trust. And as I said at the beginning, I was a chronic self-doubter. But when you've got that connection to source, to your higher self, to your wise owl, to your all-knowing being, then you don't doubt yourself. I mean, it takes time and effort, I'm not going to lie, but think about all the years it took to create the self-trust, like probably 20 odd years, so it's not going to be solved overnight. I said all wild hearts have intuitive gifts. So I don't know if you're aware of your intuition, or are you aware of your clairs? So the 5 clairs: clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, and clair. I don't know what the gust one is. I don't know how to say it, but that's taste. But I don't think many people have that one, which is why I don't really talk about it that much. So I don't use the cards to predict the future because I believe that you have free will. You're a grown-up with choices. So if someone comes to me and says, shall I split up with this person? I'm not going to give them answers, and neither are the cards. The cards are going to reflect back to them what it is inside of them that they need to learn from that relationship. The cards are going to reflect back to them, yes, that is the right job for you, because there's going to be something in the cards. We already know the answers, but when you self-doubt, you're looking for reassurance, you're looking for confirmation, you're looking for validation. And I totally get that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's about tuning into your own energy and listening to what your heart's saying or what your soul's trying to tell you. The cards are a mirror, and they show you what you cannot see. They tap into your full body energy, which you lose the connection with when you're all up in your head, overthinking, procrastinating, catastrophizing, and doubting yourself. The cards will reveal the answers to everything that's ever kept you awake at night. And those are the answers that live inside of you, and it's just about learning how to tap into them and listen. So it's almost like you take away all the noise. Because what I think we do is we go looking for answers outside of ourselves, don't we? And no one else knows what's right for us. No one else knows what's going on in our inner world. No one else is connected to, our heart, our soul, and knows why we're here. The language of your intuition is colour and symbolism, and as you use the cards, you develop a relationship and a dialogue with them that builds self-trust and self-confidence. For example, I use the chakra colour system to identify where my energy is blocked in my body. If the card is predominantly blue, for example, this represents my throat chakra and is a reminder to speak up and use my voice. If the card is predominantly red, that's my root chakra. Orange is my sacral. which is where your creativity is. Yellow is your solar plexus, which is where your will, your life force, your confidence is. Green and pink are your heart chakra. We've already done blue, which is your throat chakra. Purple, indigo is your third eye, your intuition. And white or silver is your crown chakra, which is your connection to source. But there might be loads of different colours on the card, say for example, but you will hone in on the one that is meant for you. That's why when you do a collective reading, so I do a monthly energy read for the collective, I know I'm channeling all sorts of weird messages, and sometimes they make no sense to me, and I'm just channeling what's coming through on the cards. And then people drop into the comments and say, oh wow, that was meant for me. So you know it's for someone. My very first card reading was with a Reiki master back in 2007. It was from Doreen Virtue's Mermaids and Dolphins deck. I pulled a dolphin jumping out of the water and it said break free. And at the time I didn't realise how trapped I was. I was so disconnected from my true self, and that was the cause of my panic, anxiety and depression. I taught myself to read the cards by having readings, going to classes, watching readers on YouTube and reading lots and lots of books. But it turned out I was a natural and I found it really easy. I also had an amazing friend. My best friend, I remember her, we went down the pub one night and we were talking. She said, oh, I've got my cards in the car. Let me go and get them out. Didn't really know her very well at this point. And so whenever we meet up, we go to the pub or we go to each other's houses or we go out for dinner or we meet for coffee. We'll always take the cards with us and do a card sling. And she really got me into it. It turned out I was a natural. I used to think that psychics were just fraudsters that read crystal balls on Brighton Pier, but it's not true. We are made of energy, and energy can be sensed and intuited. So I made this beautiful deck of cards, which recently received lots of love by the Wildhearts on my 30-day journaling experience called You've Got the Love. So every day for 30 days you received a card as a journal prompt with a short audio message from me so you can experience the magic. This is my card deck. Smiley Thought Cards by Lisa Parks. I originally made this deck for children, but I journal with it to connect to my inner child. So meeting your inner child is the foundation of growing your self-trust and self-confidence. There are 40 Smiley Thought cards, which are illustrations and words over photographs with positive messages on the back. And the card is split into 10 of each type of card. So there's rainbows for positivity, red hearts for love, orange sunbursts for encouragement, and purple stars for confidence. And again, you'll just see what your inner child, it's almost like, just picture you've got a little kid that's like pulling on the end of your jumper or the sleeve of you and going, Mum, 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 watch me. Look, watch me. Mum, you're not listening. Mum, I'm sad. Mum, I'm hungry. Mum, I need a wee. And you're just thinking, go away, you're such a pain, leave me alone. You're not consciously doing that, but you've been conditioned to do that. So it's about listening to that little voice within that is asking you to put yourself first and take care of yourself. And for you to not shame it or find it annoying or tell it off or scold it or criticise it or make it wrong. Protect your energy and clear it after using the cards. You can keep your decks clear by leaving a crystal on them overnight or out in the full moonlight. So when there's full moon, I just line all mine up on my bedroom windowsill and the moonlight comes in and cleans them all. But it's all about intention setting. So if you set the intention, like sometimes if I'm going to do a card read, I might write on a post-it note, like if I'm going to do my monthly energy read, I might write energy read for May, what do we need to know, and stick it on top of a pile of card decks that I've already picked out that I'm going to use. Sometimes I just pick whatever I'm drawn to, but sometimes I like be in the shower or I'll be out walking or I'll be out driving and a card from a deck will pop into my head and I'll be like, oh, I need to use that one tomorrow when they do the energy read. And that's just about really listening to your intuition, and your intuition will talk to you in different ways. So, going back to the clairs, if you're clairvoyant, you'll get images that flash into your mind. If you're clairaudient, you'll resonate with the lyrics of a song, or you'll hear a voice in your head that will be a lot louder and clearer and more positive than the voice of your inner critic and your fear. If you're clairsentient, you will feel it, you'll sense it, you'll get a sense of, you know how therapists say, oh, I get a sense that you're feeling a bit pissed off with that person. It's a sense, it's a bodily felt sense. And then claircognizance is just a knowing. So you've got no evidence to prove something, but you just know it's true. Isn't that amazing? It's so amazing when you can tune into it. And some of us will access our intuition through all the clairs, and some of us will have one which is really which is our go-to. I think I'm all of them. And I get like voices in my head, especially when I'm channeling and doing the readings. I can remember when I worked with kids, I didn't understand it at first. I'd be thinking, this kid's talking to me and I should be listening to them, but now I'm thinking about me horse riding as a child. Why am I thinking about that? Come on, Lisa, listen to the child. And then I realised that was actually me working intuitively with their energy. I remember a little boy came into my coaching room once, and he said, and he was really not in the mood, and his parents were making him come, and he said, I don't. I said, you don't want to be here today, do you, mate? It's all right. I said, just sit down and just take a minute. And then I said, shall we just draw today? Because he loved drawing. And so I started getting all the pens and stuff out, and he was like, all right. And then he drew. And then we had about 10 minutes to kill at the end. And I said, look, I got this book here that I was going to do with you today. I said, but go on, open it at a page and let's just read one page before you go home. I said, because you've done such a lovely picture. And he opened the book at a page, and what was on the book was what he'd drawn on the paper. That actually happened quite a few times with the children. So like, you know, that's my intuition working with them. And those kids that came to see me, they were highly sensitive kids, and their energy was just really open. They didn't have any boundaries. They were just open to it all. So it was all just coming through them. He just couldn't get over it. He just thought that was amazing. Yeah, he was a nice little boy. I said, I do not work with dark energy, so I don't do spells or work with dark magic. I empower wild hearts by using the cards to tap back into their intuition. I really think, especially if you've been abused or grown up in a dysfunctional family, that the first thing to go is your connection with your gut feeling, right? Because your abuser doesn't want you to be connected to what you think is true and right. And actually, as a kid, it's not safe for you to go, Mummy's not being very nice today, because you've got to be connected to Mummy so that she can cook your dinner and wash your clothes and tuck you into bed at night and make sure you're safe, although you're not safe with her. You know, the very person that's meant to keep you safe is not trustworthy. So you have to just shut down from all of that. And I don't know how many of you saw spirit when you were growing up. If you've read my book Stuck Between Two Worlds, I used to see Shadow Man, like this man in a cloak with a hat, like walking up the staircase on my periphery vision, you know, out of the corner of my eye. Now, that could have been like a manifestation of all the trauma and the fear and the abuse in our house, or it could have been a spirit. But I don't work with spirit. I've never seen a ghost. I mean, sometimes I get shivers. I think we all get that, though. I'm getting them now as I'm saying it to you. That would be like clairsentience, like a sense, like a feeling of something that's present with you, but it's not dark energy. And it's not to be feared, it's not to be feared. For many of us that grew up in emotionally neglectful or unsafe homes, your intuition is the first thing to go. But without this connection, we struggle to feel safe. So, you know, we talk about in our healing, we talk about healing and repairing the nervous system. And so it's like 3 jobs you've got to do there with the healing. You've got to repair the nervous system, reconnect back up to the feelings and learn what emotional literacy is. And, you know, then getting back through the feelings takes you back into your intuition. And then there's a whole piece around self-identity, because so many of us have lost our sense of self, or we've not known who we are, or we've not had good enough mirroring from our parents that have shown us who we are. We are the projections of them onto us, which is not who we are at all. And then this one's a bit fun at the end. It says, it's rumoured that celebrities like Kendall Jenner, Taylor Swift, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston and Bruce Springsteen are known to have their cards read multiple times weekly, if not daily. In fact, I read somewhere that the night before her wedding, Jennifer Lopez sought the advice of a tarot card reader and then cancelled her wedding. I don't know if that's true. I found that online because I know that celebrities use them. And then in here I've put my favourite decks. So you've got my deck, and then I've got, and these, you'll see me use these decks over and over again in the readings on this channel. And what I'm doing when I'm channeling messages is what I call storytelling with the cards. So I'm creating a story, I'm creating a narrative, which is probably overriding a negative, toxic narrative. And it's helping people to see things from a different perspective. And it may heal things, people. It may change their beliefs. So these are my favourite decks. We've got Believe in Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace, Crazy Sexy Love Notes by Chris Carr. That's a great one for self-care. Lightseer's Tarot by Chris Ann. I just love the artwork on that deck. And also that is a very non-traditional tarot deck. And I feel like the pictures have got, they tell so much of the story. So I don't always read. So you don't need to be able to read tarot to use them. You don't need to go Nine of Pentacles, look it up. What does it mean? I mean, I've done all that. But when you drop down into your intuition, you will get the message. You will get the message, and it's not what the book says it is. It's what you know it to be true for you. Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. Cozy Witch Tarot Deck by Amanda Lovelace. Spellcasting by Flavia Kate Peters, and Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle Deck by Amanda Ellis. Oh, that last one by Amanda Ellis, that's like my no BS, no messing about. When I just want an answer, I go straight to that deck. What you do is, I suppose it's like having favourite books. You have favourite card decks, so you build a relationship with them, and then certain cards seem to mean certain things. And sometimes when I'm sitting down to read and journal in the morning, I'll shuffle the cards and the card will pop up into my head before it's even fallen out of the deck. There's lots of ways to use the deck. And if you're interested, I can do like a video on, how to use the cards, how I pull them. I could give you a demonstration of what I make them mean. But I think by watching my readings, you'll be able to see that for yourself. But if you're interested, drop me a comment below. Let me know if you use Oracle and Tarot cards, or let me know if you use other journal prompts. Let me know in the comments below if anything that I've said here has resonated with you. I'd love to hear about your experiences. I love to hear from you all. It's really nice to know that someone's out there while I'm just sitting here with a microphone in my front room talking to you all. I'm like, is there anybody out there? If you like this video, give it a like. And thanks for being here today. I hope that's whet your appetite and got you interested in journaling with the Oracle and Tarot cards. As I say, if you go to Journaling Your Jammies on my website, you can download a free class and experience it for yourself. So that's all from me today. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.